Welcome to the Power of Owning Your Career podcast, the show for women who are seeking more fulfillment in life and simply not getting it from their current situation. We focus specifically on careers, but hey, we spend a lot of time in our careers, so making changes here will definitely create an impact in your overall happiness. I'm your host, Simone Morris, and my mission is to empower women to succeed. I believe that in order to powerfully own your career, you must decide and claim that you want to sit in the driver's seat. You must know that you deserve better and be willing to not only do the requisite work, but be willing to go out on a limb to ensure your success. Each episode focuses on profiling a leader who is clearly demonstrating ownership of their career. Join me and my guests as we explore career journeys and bring you actionable strategies to use to get into the driver's seat for your career. Because ultimately, your career is your responsibility. Let's get into the show. In today's episode of the Power of Owning Your Career podcast, I have with me today Shante Roddy. Shante is the founder and CEO of Intuitive Risk Management International and is a highly respected business and community leader. She is a visionary, consultant, educator, and mentor with over 20 years of management experience in IT, business process services, healthcare, government, you name it. Shante's got it. Welcome to the podcast, Shante.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. So tell us a bit more about who you are and what you are currently doing.
Yeah, so who am I? I'm a phenomenal woman, an advocate for women and entrepreneurs and small businesses. So I spend a lot of my time really focusing my efforts on helping people achieve their dreams, no matter what that is, using their creativity, their passions, their gifts, and helping them to be able to monetize that and then deliver in a way that they're achieving results for their customers.
Nice. And so what are you doing right now in your business?
So right now in my business, I'm doing a lot in my business. But one of the things I'm working on is contract work with a partner and myself with the county in Pittsburgh, as well as a steel company, helping them to improve their internal processes and help them set up systems using data analytics to help them make more knowledge-based decisions. So that's pretty much where my expertise is. I'm not the developer. I'm the one that comes in and makes sure that we're delivering expected results and that we are achieving quality when we're in our deliverance and implementation. I'm also working on rolling out the second annual Small Business Week extravaganza. So that is like my signature event for small business owners. Usually run it in tandem with the National Small Business Week, but that ran into Mother's Day, so I decided to do it a week prior. So it's a lot that goes into putting, if anybody has put on events, it's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding just to bring awareness to small business, to let the community know in Northeast Ohio, that's where I'm located. Let them know that we have amazing business owners and creatives throughout the area and how important they are to the community, and to make sure that we have a community that supports our small business owners.
Awesome. Is that going on the road, Shante?
No, that is locally, but so it's a local initiative, but I also make it national by having a virtual piece. Some of the days, what we do is we call it going viral, where we're active online, encouraging people wherever they are in their community nationwide to get active, to go visit their small business. We get out, we walk the community, and we go live doing it and broadcasting and really bringing recognition to the small business owners all around Northeast Ohio and then all across the country. So I like to be like the initiator, which I was last year, that really got people thinking like they need to be doing something and they can be that leader in their community that takes the lead on making sure that there's more awareness brought to us as business owners.
Awesome. I think we need more of that. So that's awesome and inspiring, by the way. Tell us some highlights from your career journey.
So highlights, I would say, is that I left corporate America to pursue entrepreneurship full time in 2014. And I should say the intent was not to necessarily to pursue entrepreneurship full time. It was that I felt like the Lord was calling me to a higher level of purpose. And so I had, achieved everything that I could achieve in corporate America, but I felt like I was being limited. And there's so much that I have to do, and I don't want to be in a position where anything is limiting my ability to fulfill my destiny. So I took time off to kind of grieve that situation and self-reflect and figure out what I wanted to do next. And in that time, I decided to pursue entrepreneurship full time, in which I decided to first focus on the consulting business. Like I said, really helping businesses get back to the basis of doing business and serving their customers, whether it's their internal customers or external, because I felt like corporations, companies were really losing sight of that. So I feel like if I can get to an entrepreneur, small business owner, when they're starting and when they're growing, before they really, hit that millions of dollars, to really let them know, just keep the focus on your customer. You must stay customer driven. And a lot of times when you're growing so fast, you lose sight of that. And if you lose sight of that and it only becomes your focus is making money, then you're going to stop making money. So you can deliver quality, you can support your customer, you can meet their needs, and you can also make money. So in my journey, I've been able to thankfully help people to do that. And it's only grown from there.
What was the career defining moment for you that signified that you were in the driver's seat, in essence, responsible for the outcomes of your career?
Really from the beginning. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I've always had an entrepreneur mindset. I've always served in a way that has that entrepreneurial spirit where I'm always taking initiative and really feeling that I'm accountable and responsible for achieving my goals. So that's always been at the forefront. So I don't think that there was any real revelation throughout my entrepreneurial process, but I think the revelation was, and I always tell people, is seeking help early on and not really understanding how much work goes into running a business. It's one thing when you're running a department, that's still challenging. But when everything is on you, it takes it to a whole nother level. So you need that help. I need that help and that support. So if I need it, I know other people need it. And I know a lot of us are challenged in that area, and you can get overwhelmed, you can get burnt out. So for me is understanding I have a big vision, but also that I need to manage that in pieces, and that I also need a team, meaning collaboration is a big part of that, and partnering with other people so we can all win together.
I love that. So tell us, who is on your success team?
Who is on my success team? I have a life coach. She was based here out of Cleveland, Ohio. She recently moved to Florida with her family. I also have 2 mentors that I work with. And I also have some colleagues that are on my success team that really help to keep me motivated, to keep me, I would say, on the right path to achieve my goals, and to help me stay accountable in achieving those goals. So that's important.
Yeah, being accountable is definitely important.
Yeah.
I would very much agree with that. So Shante, what would you say the formula is for successfully owning your career?
I would say that having faith and belief in yourself and the purpose that God put you here on this earth to achieve. I think that is so important in keeping me aligned with what I'm supposed to do. Because there's so many things I could be doing. I have big vision and I'm always coming up with ideas, which is great. But I need to hone in and stay focused on, where is God taking me? What's his ultimate plan? Because sometimes I'm on my own thing. I have plans for my life and it doesn't go in that direction. So I'm always of the mindset, if I stay aligned with God's plan, that would help keep me on track and really fulfilling my life goals. And I really want to be a change agent. I want to inspire people, empower people to live their dreams, because I feel like there's just so many people in a position that they're settling in life. And my goal is to never settle and to always remember, what is it that Shante deserves in life? What does Shante want? And before, I would say late last year, I really wasn't thinking about what Shante wanted until I went to a class, a workshop, and the leader of the workshop said that he put up the business plan, like the strategic plan. And he said, a lot of times we do it wrong. And that really stuck with me. He said, you really need to start with what is it that you want? What is it that Shante wants in life and work from there. I hadn't done that because I know, especially as women, we spend very little time thinking about ourselves and what we want. Mm-hmm. And we're constantly giving. But the fact that I have really taken that on to really think about what I want and structure my life and my business to really take hold of my career path, that has really been helpful for me. So really, especially in 2019, is really focusing on what Shante wants out of life and doing what's necessary to accomplish what I want.
Tie that or draw the correlation with what you want plus what God wants for you. Because in the prior sentence you said, really listening to what God's purpose is for you, using that as a beacon for your life. But how do we tie that? How do we get clear on what it is that God wants for us and marry that with what we see as our vision for our lives, our career, relationships, all that? Bring it together, draw a correlation for us so we understand.
Well, for me, I want people to understand God is always speaking to us. So it's important for us to really listen. And a lot of times we have noise all around us. And for me, it's about silencing the noise. And I was thinking about this today. And people have opinions about what you should be doing, what you're not doing right. And I just said, and this is what I do. I try to apply this is to seek inward. Okay. Because everything that I need is inward, is inside of me. God is always showing me these things. So I would say for me is always listening, trying to be attuned to where God is leading me and to silence out the noise that comes to distract us. So the noise will come to distract you. And so I really take that and listen to what he's telling me. And then that he's always leading me in the direction that I would go. So it's not ever too far off from what I want. Is really, in my perspective, sometimes thinking I should have achieved much more than what I have and gotten there quicker than what I had, or maybe that it was a different route to the same destination. But it's really interesting how God works in that way, is that, wherever, even if you encounter a detour, a pitfall, a pause, a life challenge, which I have experienced, a death in the family, all of that you experience is always leading you to your purpose. You're always learning and growing in that, developing compassion for people, empathy for people, and understanding that I've had to go through everything that I've gone through to help somebody else. So I'm using my situation, my testimony to help someone else in their life. And that's the path that I always take. So I would just say, really be in tune with God, with your inner self. Try to eliminate the noise or silence the noise that's telling you what you can't do and what you should be doing. And then just follow that lead and where your gifting is, and you'll reach your destiny for sure.
Nice. Thanks for clarifying that for us. How have you handled risk on your journey? Or how important has taking risk been to your journey?
Anyone that's in entrepreneurship is a risk taker, because it takes courage to venture into entrepreneurship. No matter where you are in your entrepreneurship journey, it's a courageous thing. And I would say, if you're listening, that, to give yourself a hand clap and reward yourself. But this is a faith journey, because you're doing things, you're planting seeds, and you don't always see what's coming from those seeds that you're planting. But you still have to keep moving forward. And always say, because God is not going to give you the vision and not give you provision, right? So if he gave me the vision, I know it's going to come to fruition. I just have to keep moving forward. Even when it doesn't look like things are going to pan out, or if it doesn't look the way that I thought it was going to look, or things are not happening in the way that I thought they would, or people are not supporting me in the way that I thought that I would. Within all those situations, he will always bring people into your life that you need when you need them, resources when you need them. So I think that that's such a great thing, and relying on my faith in order to take that risk, to be able to take that leap every single day. So you just think of it as taking a leap every single day. And then in my business processes and planning and development, just implementing best practices for managing risks. Because as an entrepreneur business owner, you take many risks in your business. You're vulnerable as a business owner. Many things can happen. So making sure that I have those protections in place. And what I mean by protections is, my processes in place. I have proper insurance, to really think about the what if scenarios that can happen in your business. The what if I get sick, or what if someone files a claim against me, or what if I have a contractor dispute or employee dispute, what happens in those cases. So I'm always have a risk management plan in place, but you always have to be willing to take that risk for the greater reward. And just know if you continue at it and you stay consistent, it's going to happen. You're going to be successful. But all of us, I consider, are risk takers if you're in entrepreneurship or you decided to take that leap and to run your own business.
As a project manager, I'm familiar with the risk management plan and the importance of it in managing projects. So as an individual who may still be in corporate, say a little bit more about the risk management plan and how you could create something like that and use it, even if you're not an entrepreneur, to manage your career.
Yeah, to manage your career, I would say there's different tools that you can use, but something as simple as a spreadsheet and thinking about the different risks that you have in your business, even doing a SWOT analysis. If anyone's ever heard of a SWOT analysis, is really a tool that you can use to assess your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities that are available, and threats. You can apply this tool in anything, in your personal life, in business, in your career, but really assessing the different areas of vulnerability that you have. So even if there's an opportunity, which can be a risk, or if there's competition that's out there that may be impacting you in your journey and what you should be doing. So I would say that that's an effective tool to start with if you're trying to assess the risk and really analyze where you are in your business and what those things that can really in your business take you off course or negatively impact your business or take you in the direction that you were not originally anticipating. So that's what I think of as when we talk about risk, because there's positive risk and negative risk. Okay. So I would say do a SWOT analysis, figure out what your strengths are, opportunities, threats, and weaknesses, and really do that assessment to determine how to best manage the risks in your life and in your business.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for elaborating on that. I appreciate it. Can you think of a moment in your career that you avoided responsibility for your career and how you overcame that?
I don't know that I've ever avoided responsibility for my career. I can't say that I've ever been in a situation that I've avoided responsibility. What I can say is that over the past few years, I would say have been really trying. And it's a combination of personal things and growth and understanding that life happens as a business owner. And I think a lot of times people don't talk about that. So understanding that you may have internal struggles in your business and how to deal with those things, you have to deal with them. So like I had a death in my family, the matriarch of the family, my mother, at an inopportune time, unexpected, when I was just starting out my business and I had started another one with her as my partner. When all that happened after she passed, that's why I wouldn't say it's not something I'm not taking responsibility or accountability for, but understanding that life happens and you have to deal with life, right? So I didn't know if I wanted to continue what I was going to do after she passed. I wasn't in the right frame of mind. So I got counseling. I would try to work. Like I'm sitting here talking to you in front of my laptop, and I would sit here and try to work and nothing was happening. So understanding that was okay. That was part of the grieving process. And I needed to take that time for me. And sometimes people don't understand that. We're so quick to get back to work, but that can make things worse for us and our health. So I would say, because we put our heart and soul into our businesses, into our career, but we need to put ourselves first. We need to make ourselves a priority, because if we are not in a healthy place, it's going to be very hard for us to help other people. And that's why we're here, to help other people. but you cannot feed someone else until you feed yourself. Okay, so you need to be taken care of. So that's what I would say is that life happens. I took a pause to really seek guidance from the Lord to say, what am I going to do next? Because really, after my mom passed, I didn't know what I was going to do. And like I said, he will lead you and pace you in that time and lead you in the direction that you should go. And so he told me this is what I should be doing. And I think, at a place where I wasn't doing any public speaking. I used to be a great public speaker. I stopped doing any public speaking. So he told me that if I was going to move to the next level where he was trying to take me, I had to move past the fear or the uncomfortability with speaking in front of people. And so I read the book, The Year Yes by Shante R. That is what really helped me, because I was saying no to opportunities that I needed to be saying yes to. And then once I made that commitment, it was on. And the Lord presented me with something, I didn't even question it. I said yes, even in the midst of fear. And I was scared. If somebody said, okay, we want you to come speak. And it was amazing that once I said yes, why did I keep getting calls? Like, immediately, nobody was calling me before that. So sometimes we need to release, our fears, move forward despite that, be willing to be uncomfortable, and you will see how opportunities would just open up. So all of us have our inner struggles, but I would say take those and run with it. Go move forward anyway. And you will see those fears kind of just like fading away, and you become more powerful, more confident person, and do what you're meant to do.
Awesome. I love that. I was just smiling because shout out to Minda Harts. I was on her podcast, Secure the Seat, and she had a guest yesterday who was talking about that book, Shonda Rhimes' book, Say Yes. And in my book, The Power of Owning Your Career, I talk about that book as well. So it is such a powerful resource. And when I hear you saying it, it warms my heart because it's reinforcing we need to step out on faith and say yes. So I love that. I really do. Thank you. What advice would you give to someone wanting to successfully own their career?
If you want to own your career, I would say to seek mentorship. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who are goal-centric, who are where you want to be, who have accomplished what you're wanting to accomplish. So you can see someone that has done it. Because a lot of times we're pursuing things, we have a vision, or we may be bringing in, like I said, those insecurities or previous experiences, or people told us no, or we couldn't do this, or we couldn't do that. And you need to know that it is possible, that someone else has done it. So I would say find a mentor, connect with those, use Google, find someone that has been successful at what you want to be successful at, and follow them. And get you a mentor to help you at the very start of whatever journey, whether business, career, path, at the very beginning. Do not wait, because I see a lot of people, they wait a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the line. And when you could have saved yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of trouble, a lot of pitfalls had you gotten the proper help and mentorship in the beginning. So that's what I would say is get your mentorship, coaching, if you need it, even if it's a life coach, because there's a lot of mental work when you become an entrepreneur that you need to work on, because entrepreneurship will force you into uncomfortable places. It will force you to face yourself where you may not have been facing yourself before. It will put up a big mirror. But I think that's a great thing. That is a powerful thing. So when I think about entrepreneurship and how entrepreneurship helps the individual, the entrepreneur, in so many more ways than just that venture or the money that they make or the other people that they serve, how you evolve as a person and as an entrepreneur is, I don't think there's words to describe it except for transformational. You will be transformed as a person in pursuit of your entrepreneurship dreams. That's why it's so important to enjoy and appreciate and celebrate the process and the journey. So that's why on my talk show, I talk about the journey, the story, the process. That's the most important part.
Yeah. Inspiring, definitely. I love that you said transformational because it really is. I know I've been on the entrepreneurial journey since 2015, and it is transformational when I look back to where I started and where I am today and what's ahead in 2019, which I call my epic year. It is transformational. It really is. So,
Yes.
All right. Tell us about resources that you have used online or otherwise that you have found helpful to manage your career.
Oh, I found a lot of resources very helpful. I do government work. So whether you work for the government, local, state, or federal, or you're in the private sector, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, I say is a great resource. They're a free resource, and their arm called the Small Business Development Center is also a great resource, because I know a lot of the challenges that I hear is that entrepreneurs, small business owners don't have big budgets. So there are free and low cost resources and tools available, people. So the SBA, the Small Business Development Center, I would say my chamber of commerce. So I highly recommend a chamber of commerce. I recommend that you scope them out, visit, go to a luncheon, see which one is a good fit for you. But just by networking, when I got committed to actually networking and connecting with people and going out, that's how I was able to secure the contract that I have with the Career Center here in Northeast Ohio to develop and teach my courses with them. So networking is super important. So those are ways to not only get your tools and your resources, but they're great ways to be able to build your network as well.
I'm glad you brought up networking, because when I was first out on my own and even in corporate, I didn't understand the importance of networking. And that really is, you can be very strategic with your networking and get more results, I would say, as a business owner from networking.
Yes, ma'am. And networking is really, a lot of times people get scared of the word networking. Is really, I tell people, building relationships, is sharing your gifts, understanding that as an individual, you have gifts. You're a walking gift. And the next person that you connect with is a gift. And you all have something to offer. So it's just really connecting with people on an authentic level and sharing your story and allowing them to share their story. Right?
I love how you simplify that. And I think what I want our listeners to know is that it doesn't always have to be in person, that you can do virtual networking. So
absolutely.
I think there's like no excuse not to network I love, 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 love you saying that everyone is a gift. And so seeking out those gifts, if you look at it that way, it won't be as scary to do networking.
Right. Because people get so scared, like, oh, I have to small talk, and I'm an introvert. And I said, why do you have to small talk? If you're really, truly trying to get that person, I really want to know about you. I want to know what challenges that you have. If I can help, I'm willing to help, not sell you, right? And to have a support system and understanding that everybody is not going to be your client, but everyone has come into your space for a reason. And to really understand what that reason is key. And then taking it. So whether they came to sow a word or something into your life, or you were supposed to learn from them, or they were supposed to learn from you, or you were meant to be partners or collaborate on a project. There's so many ways that you can leverage each other and support each other in this entrepreneurship journey. So I just say start with learning about each other and connecting. And tools that you can use, we're using right now is Zoom. There's a number of online platforms, a lot that are free, including Facebook has Messenger, and you can do a live webinar. I use G Suite by Google. They have Google Hangouts, so you can get a ton of people on a video call, or just one.
Google Hangouts still around?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought I had heard something about that going away. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, they may call it something else, but it's that they still have it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's still available. So there's a number of online platforms that you can use. Just pick up the phone. And I've talked to people around the world. That's what's great about technology, is that you're not just limited to your local demographic, right? So you can talk to people in another state and another country and be able to connect and collaborate on different initiatives.
I love that. And we haven't even touched on LinkedIn, the powerhouse LinkedIn, where I know that many people aren't using it, and such a huge opportunity to network, to successfully own your career.
Yes, definitely. That's my number one social media platform. And if I can, give a recommendation, because I was talking to one of my colleagues the other day, and she was talking about she just got on Facebook and, I'm so nervous about Facebook. I really don't know how to use it. My mentors recommend, and I recommend as well, find one that works for you and master it. Mm. Find the one that works for you and your business. Where are your ideal clients? So early on, I didn't realize it. I was always on LinkedIn, had my profile well developed, but I was really focusing my efforts on Facebook. And then I think a year and a half ago, realized that my target clients are not even really on Facebook. Most of them are on LinkedIn. Mm. So most of my direction, I've redirected to LinkedIn to really focus my efforts.
I think that's good advice, because there are honestly so many. My guest yesterday mentioned a tool that you can use to manage the different social media sites. But I think it's sound advice, again, to focus on one, master it, and then begin to add the different social media sites to your toolkit, so to speak.
Yes, master one. Don't feel because again, that can become overwhelming. And I said this the other day too, is that people feel like they have to be in 100 groups. Mm. You cannot be effective in 100 groups. Find one or two that align with your goals and that you can learn, and you can also share knowledge and offer value. And then you'll see how that will help you grow your business. But it gets overwhelming to try to manage yourself in 100 groups. There's no way that you can do it and be effective and really build those relationships. So do what you can. Don't feel like you have to do everything, be on every platform. Just do it in small pieces. Focus on one thing, master it, move on to the next. Even in business, I have great ideas. I have it part of my plan. I can't do all 20 at one time. So I master what I'm working on. If I'm struggling in this area, I get help, I build it up, I master it, then I can implement something else. Then I can master that and then implement the next initiative. But we a lot of times overwhelm ourselves trying to do too much, trying to be everywhere, trying to target at everybody, and that just doesn't work. We have to focus in on who our target audience is, where they are, understand their needs, and then cater to those needs and solve their problems. If you can solve their problems, you will make money.
Well said. So we're coming to the end of the interview. Any parting words before we wrap up?
I would say continue pursuing your dreams. Don't settle. Don't settle for a life that you don't want. So anything that you want in this life, you can have. Anything that you want to do, anything you want to be, you can do it and you can be it. You can achieve it. So I would leave with always have an I can attitude and realize that you're great, that you have so many gifts and the world is just ready and waiting for what you have to offer.
I love that. Thank you so much, Shante. Tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, well, you can reach me on social media. You can reach me at my website, www.intuitiveriskmanagement.com. You can find me on my radio show on Facebook at the Biz Talk Live Show. And my social media handle is at IntuitiveRMI.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We have learned much, including inspiration and to not settle and to just find those gifts out there. It has been my pleasure to chat with you, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for listening to the Power of Owning Your Career podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode on the SimoneMorris.com website, where you can find links to everything that was mentioned today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and tell a friend or two about it.